Welcome to this week's Training Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to Sarah, who just came in the room trying to sneak in with me. I'm Heidi Reese, Dayton Superior's Training Programs Manager, and I'm happy that you've come to join us on this Tuesday. A couple of items, like always, before we get going with today's training. Everybody who has joined muted so that people can hear the presentation, there's no distractions. And just as a reminder, we record and put all of these on the YouTube Dayton Superior channels, as well as DaytonSuperior.com. You can just search Training Tuesday. You'll find two links. One lets you register for next week's Training Tuesday, and the other shows you all the ones that we've had in the past, so you can watch them and learn all the topics that you want. So getting started. This presentation is intended for training purposes only. So we're going to talk about some chemicals today. Anything as far as technical or safety, please refer to DaytonSuperior.com, and you can get all that safety and technical data information on DaytonSuperior.com. Okay, so who is Dayton Superior? We are the leading provider of engineered solutions for the concrete construction industry. And as you can see, we specialize in accessories, chemicals, like we're going to talk about today, forming, engineering. We support you with that. And of course, we provide you with training. We're doing one right now. It's quick and insightful. But if you need something more customized or longer, please contact Chuck and myself at training@DaytonSuperior.com. But we're not just known for chemicals. I told you accessories and forming and again chemicals, but we have all kinds of solution brands that can fit you for your projects, such as chemical solutions that are specifically formulated to meet the design specifications in new construction or retro repair needs. In addition, we have Simon's Forming, and it's assuring also with the adaptable, strong, and it saves labor costs. So a lot of our Simon's Forming can be put together, so that's where the adaptability is. It's really great stuff. And accessories like you see there, taper lock, sleeve lock, bar lock. We have Cody Clip, Tilt Works, Slab Works, you name it. So if you are interested in any kind of training, again, get with us at training@DaytonSuperior.com. But we're here to talk about horizontal repair mortars. We're going to discuss what that means. We're going to investigate some of the root causes. We're going to see how to prep and apply the mortar. And then how can Dayton Superior assist you with it? And here to tell us about this topic and teach us all the good stuff is our technical support specialist, Mr. Paul Monin.
Hey.
Come on, give me a better hand.
What's going on?
There you go.
Happy
Okay.
Training Tuesday.
That's
Let's
right.
go.
So Paul's a graduate of Ohio University and has grown up working in the construction supply business. His professional experience includes a wide variety of industry topics, as well as his expertise, such as working as an environmental health technician, and both inside and outside sales positions that effectively provide consultants with great customer experience. So he also understands the business behind the scenes because of his past warehouse management and shipping and receiving roles. And let us not forget past data, because I'm a data girl. I want to tell you about his analytic position, but what that did is it provided him with the skills to deliver specifications and lead assistance to you guys on the phone. So you'll see at the end of the presentation, that's one of the resources that are available to you. So Paul, take it away, mister.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Heidi. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Happy Training Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about horizontal repair mortars. We're going to talk about what they are, what they do, what they don't do, what you should do, and what you shouldn't do.
And you know what I forgot to ask?
What was that?
Or what I forgot to tell you guys?
Oh,
if
yeah?
you have questions, I want you to answer, answer them too. I want you to ask them through the chat functionality in Zoom or the Q&A. You can do that at any time. We're not going to stop and ask questions during, but at the very end, we'll have a mini question and answer, and Paul can help with that. So I'm sorry, Paul.
I'll do my best. Yeah, send in your questions and we'll get them answered. So first thing we're going to talk about with regards to horizontal repairs and horizontal repair mortars is the investigation phase. I like this picture of this crack because this is something someone will get a call about. Oh, our concrete's cracking. Let's go take a look at it. It's really important to understand why the concrete is cracking, why it's deteriorating, and what's causing it. There are many causes to deteriorating concrete. A lot of times it has to do with reinforcing steel and corrosion. Sometimes it has to do with freeze thaw and salt and chloride ion intrusion, easy for me to say. And sometimes it's just a durability issue. Things take traffic and they run, life takes its course. Other times it gets into design issues and engineering things, and you need to consult a structural engineer. But in any case, if the root cause of the damage is not addressed, the repairs are not going to be effective in the long term. So it's really important to have a full scale understanding of the problem so that you can address it in its totality. Repair mortars are specifically designed cementitious materials or epoxy based materials that they're engineered for a purpose. Some repair mortars are meant to take traffic. Some repair mortars are meant to be installed vertically and overhead. Other repair mortars are, some of them could be built up to 12 inches thick, and when they're extended with aggregate. Some of them are thin setting, than ½ inch or less. They're all specifically engineered products, and picking out the right repair mortar for your job outside of addressing the root cause and going through the steps of installing it correctly is very key to having a successful repair job. So basically, when you get into a repair job, make sure you're picking out the right material for it. Go through the tech data sheet, look at its limitations, look at its features, and you go from there. It's pretty easy to figure out what you're going to need for a job, given depth parameters, given the substrate, given the conditions. But measure twice, cut once. Material selection is very important in the world of repair mortars. To kind of get a sense of all the different types of repair mortars there are out there and the different orientations of their applications, I really like this slide. I've been seeing this ever since I got into the business as a quick way to teach somebody who knows nothing about concrete repair, the basics about these materials. We're going to be focusing on the horizontal repair mortars, flat work repair mortars, as opposed to all these other orientations. Some of these products can be applied in multiple orientations and fashions, but just know this is kind of the basics of material selection. Where is it going to be going? Is it going down flat? Is it going overhead? Does it need to be formed up and poured or pumped? These are the defining characteristics of repair mortars. So after we've kind of addressed the initial cause of the damage, and we've started to try to figure out what kind of material we're going to need to use to repair it, we need to define the entire repair area. This stuff is all very spelled out in ACI documentation about how you need to lay out repairs so that the mortars stick and adhere and wear correctly. Basically, though, you're going to see damage at a certain spot and start there, but kind of working out from the core of the damage using sounding techniques such as hammer sound and impact echo and chain dragging is a great way to understand the whole repair. How much material are we going to need? How much of this area are we going to need to caution tape off or danger tape off? How long is this going to take? How big of a crew we're going to need? You don't really know that until you start sounding out the area and preparing the area for repair. But audio techniques, hammer sounding, chain dragging, and these newfangled impact echo machines do a really good job of getting into the concrete, helping you figure out how far you need to get out from the middle of the damage with your repair. And
tell me the truth. Did you make up chain dragging? It sounds like something.
It does. It sounds like a myth, but actually it's very common, especially on bridges.
Okay.
It's a common means to.
I just thought maybe you want to be in the back, running around with the chains or something.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like fun, but it's really not. It's just noisy and heavy. But these techniques are tried and true. People have been doing this for a long time, and it sounds crude, but it works. And if you don't understand the scale of the damage or the scope of the deterioration, it's impossible to repair. Repair geometry is actually really important too. I think a lot of people who work in the field are just kind of used to doing things this way and don't really understand why. But having a defined edge to the repair using square or rectangular geometry is widely recognized best practice. using a saw or a grinding wheel to create these edges basically gives the repair mortar something to bind to. It creates a uniformity. It makes it easier to place. This is just how you should be laying out your repairs. Odd angles and strange patterns just tend to crack and delaminate. And additionally, if you aren't going about square or rectangular geometry and sounding out the repair and going through these initial steps, a lot of times you can be putting your repair mortar into, or like using damaged concrete as your substrate. So this helps you make sure that the entire area you're repairing is uniform and that you aren't bonding repair mortar to any structurally unsound concrete, essentially. It's kind of a fail-safe mechanism. This picture kind of spells it all out too. You have cracked areas and delaminated areas, and it's just not looking good in several areas. You could lay this out in like the picture in the middle here, and it might seem like it's going to do a good job. You covered all the repair areas. But that's really not how you should be doing it. Squares, rectangles, it's easier to saw cut, it's easier to place, it's easier to work with, and it also helps you make sure that you aren't applying the material to anything that's structurally unsound. Repair geometry, really nerdy stuff. It's very important. I don't know if it's as important as surface preparation though, because surface preparation is extremely important. Bold, blue letters at the top of the page. If you're going to use a repair mortar, the repair mortar needs to bond to the substrate. The only way the repair mortar is going to bond to the substrate is if the surface is prepared correctly. First off, we got to clean the concrete. After we've saw cut all these edges and we got our geometry all set and good, get the dust out of there. Concrete, when you cut it out, creates dust. When you chip it, it creates dust. If you hit it with a hammer, you're hammer drilling, if you're jackhammering, too much dust. We don't want the dust on the surface. Clean the concrete. Oil, any kind of bond breakers, you don't want standing water in there. We'll talk about saturated surface dry in just a minute. But these conditions are extremely important, and if they're not really well attended to, you're going to have failure in your repair material, and you're going to be back there doing the same job twice. Most people who listen to concrete construction webinars don't like doing the same work twice, so highly recommended. Focus on the details before you start placing the material, and you'll love life. It'll be good. Surface profiling, also extremely important part of the surface prep phase. I like this picture, and if you're ever at any iCry events or conferences or anything, you'll probably see the little chips, the little sample boards they make that define concrete surface profiles. Basically, all of your cementitious repair materials are going to fall into CSP 3 and higher, or CSP 5 and higher. And basically, that just means the concrete has to have, peak to valley, 1/4 inch or greater surface profile. Without this profile, the repair mortar cannot bite in. It does not bond well. Concrete does not bond well to really smooth surfaces in layman's terms. Most of the time in your technical data sheets, there will be a recommendation on concrete surface profile. If you have any questions about that with any Dayton products, do not hesitate to reach out to our team, and we'll get you the right information you need to make sure that your repair material sticks. Saturated surface dry is a condition of a porous solid where the permeable voids are filled with water and there's no water sitting on the surface. Basically, this is mumbo jumbo and big words for concrete sucks water. So if you are putting,
It's true though.
it's true. Concrete, if you have a concrete driveway and it's not sealed, go out and dump a bucket of water on it. It'll soak the water right up. There will be no water on the surface anymore. When you mix up a repair mortar, it has water in it. So what concrete wants to do is it wants to suck the water out of the repair mortar mix and deprive the repair mortar of water, which is bad for the strength of the repair mortar. It robs the cement of its hydration. It doesn't cure properly. It chips out, it breaks, it cracks, common issues. So the saturated surface dry process, basically, think about thirsty concrete. You give the concrete a drink. before you fix the concrete. Otherwise, it's going to suck all the water out of the mix and you're going to have a bad repair job. Mixing tips, when you're going to place and you start mixing this stuff up, stop before you start and read the tech data sheet. Water dosage rates are very important. Make sure you're checking the latest technical data sheet and you're not just going off one you've had saved on your desktop or on your phone for forever, because sometimes these products get reformulated and they need to, the water dosage rates change. Mixing time, also extremely important. Some products you need to mix for 2 or 3 minutes. Sometimes it's like grouts are 5 minutes. And that mixing time is crucial, as well as the uniformity of the mixing process. That's why we always recommend to add powder to liquid and not the other way around. If you have 50 pounds of powder in a bucket and you start adding water to it, the water is not going to be able to get to the bottom of the bucket. So if you gradually add the powder into the water, you're making sure that all the powder gets hit with water. And if you continually mix it, as the technical data sheet describes, for the amount of time, you're going to see this, the powder gradually get hydrated and it will create a nice uniform mixture. You don't want any clumps. You don't want any lumps. You can't have any pockets of powder that have not been hit with water. That's not good. That's just not going to work. So, and if you're doing a small job, if you're using less than a full bag, pre-mix the material by shaking or rolling the bag. Don't be afraid to hurt the bag. The bag doesn't have feelings. Roll it around, toss it on the ground, get that cement and that polymer and that sand all homogenized. It needs to be homogeneous. Otherwise, you're going to have inconsistencies in the mix. You might get a lot of cement here and not enough cement over there if you're doing 2 small patching jobs with the same bag. Common scenarios. This is stuff that people do in the field all the time and they don't really think about it. And it's important. So basically read the data sheet, make sure you're using the correct water dosage rate, correct mixing time, make sure you have the right equipment, the right paddle. If you ever have questions about that, you don't know, call us, we'll talk with you about it. Add the powder to the liquid gradually, make sure that powder all gets hit with water. Important detail stuff. Scrub coats. So when you paint, you use a primer. Scrub coat is like a primer for concrete. Basically, you mix up a little bit of the repair mortar with water and use a brush or a roller and get it onto the patch area. And basically, it serves as a primer. All these repair mortars we're going to talk about today, I'm pretty sure all of them have polymer content in them. And doing the scrub coat, putting the scrub coat onto the saturated surface dry concrete basically creates like a gluey kind of bonding layer, if you want that picture. It really helps with bonding. It's super easy to do, and it makes sure that the patch is going to stick. After you place your patch, do not forget to cure. I really wish I knew how many grouting jobs and patching jobs exist that don't get cured. I don't know why people don't think about it, because when you place concrete, you cure the concrete. This is cement. It needs to be cured. ASTM CO309 curing compound, it covers you. You can wet cure it. A lot of people for smaller installations will use like burlap or burlene, polyethylene sheeting, stuff like that. I always recommend ASTM CO309 curing compounds because A, we sell them, B, they're easy to get and they're readily available, and they're custom engineered for certain situations. You can use a dissipating resin in certain areas, you can use a cure and seal in certain areas, but yes, patches need cured, they're concrete, don't forget about curing them. So now we're going to get into some products. HD50, very versatile product, very fast setting, high early strength gain, latex modified and fiber reinforced. When you see latex, you think sticky glue. Fiber reinforced, little tiny strands, literally fibers inside the mix of the bag. It helps with the tensile strength and compressive strength. It makes it stronger. When you see 1 hour strength, 2000 PSI, we're kicking, we're working here. The stuff sets up really fast. If you're, most of our patch formulations are pretty fast setting formulations. We don't deal with a lot of extended set products. We're by nature a commercial construction supplier. All of our products are formulated for turnaround time in industrial applications and DOT applications. People want to keep, they don't want to close the road for a week. They want to close the road for 2 days. So HG50 is a really great, strong, fast setting horizontal patch. We placed up to 6-inch deep when extended with pea gravel. It's very heavily specified by state DOTs, thanks to my friend Sarah Clark here. It's great for fast turnaround. It's a great product if you're looking to do some flat work and you need to get back on it really soon. HG50 is a great way to go about that.
We got 2 shout outs today, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah's an office favorite here. She's a great person. Special patch is kind of an old school bag and jug system. The jug is polymer, liquid glue essentially. That makes this stuff nice and sticky. It's good for interior and exterior repairs. It can go all the way down to an 1/8 inch thin or up to 2 inches neat. Can be extended up to 4 inches with pea gravel. Bag and jug systems are really good for abrasion resistance, but special patch definitely fits the bill. Very versatile, easy to work with, good resistance to heavy traffic. So it's really good for floors, anywhere where it's going to see a lot of daily traffic. Special patch is a really good product and it really holds up well in those situations. Polyfast FS is another high strength, fast setting horizontal repair mortar. It can also be used in vertical and overhead applications. It's single component, so you take that bag and jug system from special patch and get rid of the jug. Just add water. It's polymer modified though, so it's going to be sticky, hence is how it can be used in vertical and overhead situations. I always gravitate toward products like this when I am making product recommendations because it's easy to work with. You don't have to worry about bag and a jug. You don't have to worry about a whole lot. Just add water, mix it up, trowel it on. It can be extended for repairs greater than 2 inches, 1/4 inch to 2 inches neat. You're not going to see a whole lot of feather edge products in this presentation, although we will get into a couple. Just kind of generally speaking, when you're working with horizontal repairs and things that you're cutting out, you aren't really going to need to feather edge it anyway. Polyfast FS is going to do most of the depths you're going to need. It's versatile, so if you have to hit a horizontal spot and you have a vertical spot over there, you can use the same product. Some good value added there. Polyfast is a good mover and a good product. DOT rapid repair. I think I'm catching a theme here. These are all fast setting formulations. DOT rapid repair. If there is ever anything in a name, this is a great name. Department of Transportation needs to fix things fast. DOT rapid repair. It's heavy duty, it's polymer modified, it contains a corrosion inhibitor. Very important in DOT work. Exposed rebar corrosion is one of the leading killers of concrete. So having a powdered product that you can apply to an area where there is corroding rebar and it will inhibit that corrosion, that's good. That's good. We want that. It's also super versatile. The extended applications go all the way up to 24 inches in certain circumstances. It can be applied neat from 1/2 inch to 2 inch. It can be field extended up to 8 inch. There's a pre-extended version. Very versatile, very, very crucial product for infrastructure projects. So if you're bidding any road repair kind of work and you need a fast setting patch, this is your dog. Pave Patch 3000, similar, not the same. This can be formed and poured into vertical and overhead applications as well. Once again, talking about fast setting, it's so crucial in our industry that things turn around quickly. This nice flowable consistency though, it's easy to work with. It can take your normal traffic in 1 to 3 hours. 7-day compressive strength is 7,000 PSI. That's hardcore stuff. 1/2 inch to 2 inch neat application can be extended up to 6 inches. So it's versatile enough for most of your horizontal repair needs. Pave Patch 3000 is awesome. It's once again though, if you're working with it in hot weather, you might want to use some cold water. This stuff sets up very fast and it's designed that way. So once again, been road work, that's a good call. These are kind of interesting products to be in a horizontal repair presentation, but I wanted to talk about them because rehabs are super common, and as we are kind of revitalizing our cities, we're taking a lot of old industrial buildings and turning them into office buildings and turning them into housing. And a lot of times you have concrete floors that just don't look very good. So a self-leveling underlayment or a self-leveling topping would be a great option to go over these areas and provide a nice, new, smooth, clean surface. Underlayments like level layer and Econo level are not intended to be a finished floor, but they will go in to provide a new level floor. So carpet can come in, you can put down ceramic or wood or pergo or whatever you're working with. I don't know if anybody calls it pergo anymore.
You just did.
I did. But anywho, these products are really nice and they're really important when you're doing rehabs. They help buildings get turned around and repurposed very quickly. One thing I will say, and I like to add whenever I'm talking about self-leveling underlayments and toppings, is they're not structural. So if you have cracks in the concrete, those need to be addressed with an epoxy prior to the application of the underlayment or the topping. Luckily, we have a whole line of epoxies, so we can help you with that too. I wanted to give these a shout out though, even though they're not really repair mortars as we normally think of them, because they do revitalize floors. Thin resurfacer is an adjacent product to the underlayments. This is or I should say to level topping. This is a trowel applied topping product. I gotta say, if you're doing a big job and you need to resurface a large area, I probably wouldn't lean on this product because it's so sticky. It's just so tenacious. Placing this stuff in large areas is not fun. But for feather edge to half inch, thin repairs, small areas, if you have a self-leveling kind of application, but you have one area that is just particularly troublesome and you need to work with a trowel, you can't have product running away from you, thin resurfacer is really good for that. It's kind of a niche thing, but if you have a small area that needs resurfaced and needs to take traffic, thin resurfacer is awesome for that. Now we're going to get into level topping. I like level topping a lot. If you have, let's say you have a patio and it's just seen better days. It's in fine shape. It's not helpless, but it just doesn't look very good anymore. Level topping is what that is. That's what this is for. It's great for resurfacing, aesthetically non-pleasing concrete. There's some nice finishing options too that can be done with level topping as well. So if you're looking for something kind of architectural and cool looking, you can do that too. If you ever have any questions about the limitations or kind of how far you can go with level topping, feel free to reach out to me and my team and we'll get you a bunch of information. I really love level topping though. Civil structural FPX is a pre-extended. This is about as close as we get currently to selling Sackcrete or Quickcrete. It's pre-extended with coarse aggregate, designed for large volume placements. Anything with coarse aggregate, you get that 3/8 inch pebble in there. You can't really feather it out. This stuff is really good for form and pump and form and pour applications though, particularly in exterior environments. It contains a corrosion inhibitor. So if you ever have any situation with steel that you need to address, this is a good product for that. The stuff is very tenacious though. It bonds really well. It's freeze thaw resistant. Application thicknesses from 1 inch to 12. And this is one of our products that has an extended working time. So if you're working in the heat of the summer, you don't need to count your blessings before you go out there and mix this stuff up. It's a little bit more forgiving. Now we're going to get into the real stuff here. SurePatch is an epoxy resin system. It contains a resin, a curing agent, and an aggregate. This stuff is super hardcore for runways, interior and exterior repairs and overlays. It sets up super fast. It can take vehicle traffic in 3 to 5 hours. Anytime you see an epoxy repair product or an epoxy grout, you just know it's strong, strong, strong. It can be extended for applications up to 6 inches. I always like these two pictures here on the left. You can see it's on literally on an aircraft runway. This stuff is designed to be mega hardcore. It's really good with chemical spills and abrasion. Sure Patch is awesome. Maybe not as awesome as Rapid Resin Repair though. This is a epoxy hybrid patching material. When we talk about all weather, I really mean cold weather because I would not know what to do with the stuff. It was 75 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It just sets up too fast, but you can see what it looks like. It's just strong, fast setting stuff. It cures out in low as -20 Fahrenheit. So if you live in Alaska and you need something that sets up really fast, call us, please. This product will do the trick. We got to get going here. We're a little short on time. I did want to run through a few recommendations though. This is like the Bible of concrete repair here as far as these repair bulletins from ACI. The bottom one, number 7, is probably most pertinent for our presentation today. But these documents are almost exhaustingly detail oriented. They will teach you pretty much everything you need to know about these repair processes, their limitations, and how to do them. If you ever need anything more from us, hit us up online, DaytonSuperior.com. We have our tech data, we have our safety data, we have application guides, product selection guides. You can request lead, you can request training, you can send Heidi and Chuck an email about things we need to be training on soon.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
Very nice to hear.
That's pretty much all I got though, Heidi.
Yeah, no problem. Show them the last one because it's
All of us.
Yay.
There
There's
we
Sarah
are.
in the middle since we're calling her out third time.
And Heidi managed to not sneak herself in here. So
Oh, I think they've seen me. So we got a couple questions real quick here. If anybody else has any questions, then go ahead and put that in. Do you make any white repair products?
not right now. I don't think so. No. We've had some formulations in the past, but we don't have any on the market currently.
Okay. And then the second question is related to Sure Patch, 1/2 inch to 3 inch applications. When you say the product can be extended, does that mean adding rock and sand?
It means adding 3/8 inch wash pea gravel specifically. If you ever have questions about that, absolutely feel free to reach out. There's a lot of information online. Extending repair mortars, you have to use clean pre-saturated stone. It's not as simple as just adding rock, but pea gravel is the answer.
It's great. He said thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anybody else? All right, well, that's for today. Thank you, Paul. Again, there's a QR code there. If you need some extra training, go ahead and scan that and it'll fill out really quick, well, it's not survey, a little quick what you need and it'll get to us and we'll contact you. And if there's no other questions, then thank you again, Paul.
Thank you, Heidi.
And until next Tuesday, everyone, I appreciate you stopping by and learning about some chemicals.
Heck
So,
yeah.
see you later.